locked and loaded. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
What's up, Big O? Doing
Has the
doing good.
has
Yeah, had a little
has the spotter cleared you for this segment?
yeah. I'm hoping to return to Miami Gardens as soon as next Wednesday. So we'll
All right.
see.
Oh, you'll
We'll
be back
see.
for Tua.
I'll be back for Tua, be back for Brian Flores week.
Right.
That's the hope and the goal. But of course, Byron Jones had a plan too, and that hasn't worked out just yet.
Oh yeah, no, but I didn't predict that Brian Jones was coming back next week. I predicted that Tua was coming back next week 2 weeks ago. So it's all right. It's all good. I mean, Joe, for me, this whole thing is just a bunch of bullshit. I just find this all crap and window dressing for the NFL, and now we got the news media stuck in this whole mess, and you're ruining a game now. The game is physical, dude. People are going to suffer concussions. Shit's going to happen. Bones are going to break. That's the way it goes. You're not going to make this game safe. And if they start pulling what they're pulling now over the last weekend and what you saw last night, now you're going to change the outcome of games. Players aren't going to meet incentives. They're not going to be able to break records. They're not going to be able to win some games. They're not going to qualify for playoffs. They're going to be eliminated because they got, look at this past week. Teddy had no reason to be taken out of that game. So from the second play on, the Dolphins had to play with their third string quarterback because of the NFL's incompetence. And this is only going to create a bigger problem for the NFL. This thing of trying to make it safe, you're not going to make this game safe, dude. Never.
So the question is, do I think the game can ever be safe? No, of course it can't be. No, it's a violent sport. The NFL did unquestionably react to the onslaught of criticism in the wake of Tua Tagovailoa being reinserted into the game after a clear and obvious stumble. What's unfortunate is that Teddy Bridgewater was removed from the game after one play, despite no clear and obvious stumble. Now, our Hal Habib, I know you're a big fan of his. He's an excellent veteran scribe. He has, for a couple of days, been asking the NFL for a clarification on what the spotters saw. And that's going to be a pool report that we're expecting to get from the NFL. We'll pass that along to your listeners and to our readers as soon as we get it. But I think this is a little bit of an overreaction, and I think eventually. Well, no, but what I'm telling you is, I think like anything else, whether it's pass interference or roughing, eventually the pendulum will swing back a little towards more normalcy. I think unless the player has a clear and obvious loss of motor skills, the spotter shouldn't rule the player out of the game. He should just say, hey, listen, the doctors, you guys check him out. Take him out of the game, check him out. And then see if he clears the protocol. It seems like an easy fix, and that's probably where we're going to go. The spotter doesn't have to say, that's ataxia, he's out for the game. The spotter just has to say, I'm concerned about the hit he took. Let's check him out. They check him out on the sideline. They check him out in the locker room. And, those doctors are also allowed to review the video. So, I didn't realize the role that the spotter was going to have in all this. So I think the NFL will make a change on that.
Well, they better make a change because you're going to cause some problems. Yesterday, dude, that was a turning point in the game on that Chris Jones play. And all of a sudden, you call that cheesy ass foul. That was a turnover. And you call that's
it should
terrible.
Be reviewable. Yeah, so that's another easy fix that Sean Payton and others have obviously pointed out. Let's just go ahead and make all roughing the passer penalties reviewable and challengeable. So let's do that.
Well, here's the other thing. So let's say you wobble a little bit, but you get your senses back. And, for whatever reason, I mean, dude, any of us that have fallen in playing sports or whatever,
it's a different time.
It's not a different time, my brother.
No, it is. We're
No,
trying to
no,
protect
no,
these
no,
players'
no,
brains.
no, no, it
Listen,
isn't.
just
So then
listen.
what? So then,
They're
so wait a
doing the
minute.
autopsies. They're doing the autopsies on these guys. And
And
what do they have?
and
They have tons of brain damage. All right.
and that,
So
and
let's
that's
try
what
to limit. So let's try
and
to
that's what they
limit.
chose.
But we're trying to yes, but we're trying to limit the repeat head trauma. We're trying to allow these guys to heal. All right. So in general, you got to support that, man. You can't be against allowing brains to heal. That
Okay,
can't be the hill you die on. That
why
can't be
isn't the
the hill
media
you die on.
so why isn't the media doing the same thing in the MMA and UFC and boxing, my man? Because I
There are
get it
people who think UFC. There are people who think UFC is
because it doesn't matter.
disgusting and ridiculous. Well,
Right,
no, they're
because it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. That's why. Because it's so far down on the totem pole that
years
nobody
ago
cares.
football was banned. Football was banned because it was too violent, right? And then they made some rules changes, and so it's constantly evolving.
When was football banned?
Or they tried to ban it, or whatever. I don't know. Back in the day, man.
I never heard that. When was
All right, I'll
football
look it up.
banned?
What? No. Or they tried, or the government tried. But let me look it up while we talk. Go ahead.
Okay. No, but I'm just saying the disgust of the media and the overreaction. And while there's a standing 8 count in boxing or MMA, you think there aren't concussions being happening right there inside the ring constantly? Yeah. And they shake them off and they get back in there and they win fights. You know what I'm saying? So my problem with all of this is these players chose this. They know exactly the pains that they're going through. They know exactly what you're going to sacrifice by being a paratrooper for your life in the army. Your body is going to suffer because of that. If you're going to be a coal miner, you're going to suffer in the end because of that. These are things that come with the territory. You cannot alter the game to a point. Unfortunately, part of it is that you are going to alter your life. That's just kind of what it is. If you do this, you now take away from the game itself, and it's not the game anymore. What we watched last night and what we're watching over the last weekend and a half, it's not football anymore. You're going to kill the sport. Part of the amazing part of that sport is that they put up with that kind of punishment, that
All
they
right, listen.
deliver
I
that
found.
kind of punishment.
All right,
Go ahead.
listen. This has to do with former U.S. President Teddy Roosevelt. We're
Oh
going
my
back over 100 years. So in the early 1900s, in 1903, 25 players died from football injuries. In
Yes.
1905, 18 more died. Former President Teddy Roosevelt threatened to abolish football due to its brutality and foul play. Listen to
Yeah,
this.
it's called leather helmets, bro.
There were
Leather
no
helmet.
rules. Listen to this. Back in 1903, there were no. Here are the things you could do. You could kick, knee, and Dominican Sue would love this. You can kick, knee, face stomp, dirt fling, hair pull, and windmill.
Also, the cop from the Replacements
You can
was
also
playing in
sink.
that league.
You're allowed to sink your teeth into the legs at the bottom of the pile. Now,
Oh, Mike
there are, there
Tyson's
are,
type of game.
there are
Awesome.
players in today's game who are accused of nefarious tactics. Our own Christian Wilkins was accused by Josh Allen of a naughty act in a recent game, and he was in fact fined. That was, I
I
believe,
got you.
under appeal.
But you're really
Anyway,
not defending your point whatsoever with
no, I'm
what
talking
you
about how
just
the
found.
game is safer
Okay.
now, and
Okay.
I'm talking about how the game is safer now. Rules changes to make the game safer are always going to happen. You know those Guardian helmets, that the foam things or whatever, the
Yes.
linemen or where?
Yes.
Would you be surprised if at some point in the next 10 years all linemen are required to wear those things?
I don't mind that.
Okay.
I don't mind that. That's equipment. But, Chris Jones landing on the quarterback like he did last night, that's normal, dude.
No,
That's
obviously
part of the
everyone.
game.
Obviously, that was a
Yeah,
bad call. No, listen, there are
of
bad
course.
calls. There
Well,
are
no,
bad
but
calls.
those are game altering calls.
Mhm.
What you did to the Dolphins this week was game altering. Once you pulled Teddy when you didn't have to pull Teddy, when he showed no signs of it, but because you're playing a PR game with the public and the news media, you now are putting your game at risk. The players, the coaches now work so hard that now they can be taken a game. Dude, that game was a tight game for 3 quarters. They lost it in 1 quarter. They lost it. And if they have Teddy Bridgewater in that quarter, maybe they don't have some of those turnovers. Maybe they even win that game with Teddy Bridgewater in there. And why? No, this is not
All right,
football,
listen,
dude.
you're right. You're right. And look, Teddy's probably going to be on the practice field Thursday and
Oh, for sure.
available to start Sunday. Okay, so
Yeah.
we like that.
Yes.
And Skylar Thompson is a competent backup even at this point in his career. So, Dolphins will have a chance against the Vikings at home. Listen, we talk a lot about the quarterback. We talk a lot about concussions, understandably. But I do want to point something out that I've been thinking a lot about that's bothering me. All right. No sacks from these guys. Where are the
Terrible.
sacks? All
Terrible.
right. 9 sacks in 5 games. That ranks 24th in the league.
Yep.
How, Big O, with Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram, Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer, Jerome Baker, safeties who blitz better than
And
anybody.
Agba.
How?
And Agba.
Listen, and Agba. Where's Agba? Listen, have we mentioned Emmanuel Agba in 5 games? Listen,
No.
they're
It's
30th.
listen. I give them a little bit of a break because I know
they're
that
not
without
blitzing.
the corners,
No, they're
it
not blitzing.
creates an imbalance, and I understand that. But you
But
are
they need.
1,000% right. You're 1,000%
Where's
right.
Emmanuel
Overall,
Agba? Wait,
yeah,
listen.
you're right.
Now Raekwon Davis, unfortunately, it was a penalty. We need more of those Raekwon Davis plays where he just
Yeah,
kicks the crap out of a guy. All right.
yeah.
And now I think that
Blows
was
it
going
up.
to be his first career sack. All right.
Blows it up. Yep.
So that's not his strength, but we need some more ass kicking in the trenches. All right. It's not happening. The
I agree.
Dolphins are 30th in quarterback pressure and 31st in quarterback knockdowns. All right. What happened to our identity is fearless? Our identity is, toughness, physical play, attack the quarterback.
Did you check the rankings on ball release of opposing quarterbacks against the
I
Dolphins?
know they're getting rid of it quick, but let me ask you this: with Brian Flores coming to town, it's going to come up.
I
Do
love how
you
you just
think?
I love how you just went over that and oh yeah, I know they're
Yeah,
getting rid of it quick.
yeah, you're right. No, you're right. That's a factor. But listen, Brian Flores is coming to town. All right, in less than 2 weeks. Even though you didn't like him as a head coach, do you think there's a chance that he was good at defensive scheme?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
so
Yeah.
that could be a factor here.
Joe, how many coaches are good coordinators and they suck as head coaches? There's a
No,
shit
I
ton of
know,
those
I
kind of
know.
guys.
No,
And by the way, he's not a coordinator right now. He's just a linebackers coach. So he doesn't call the defense or anything like that. So when Tua plays against him in 2 weeks, he'll make sure to dump it off to a lot of backs and to the tight ends and in the slot to just burn the linebackers. So he's gonna work those linebackers in 2 weeks. You'll
Steelers got
see.
good linebackers too. Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
yeah. Well, I hope they're good in
name guys.
coverage. I hope they're good in coverage. I know they're good at pass rushing, but are they good in coverage? Is the question? You know. So,
I wanted to tell everyone to follow me on Instagram at
uh-oh.
Shadjo SCHA. I'm trying to build my Instagram audience. I've been posting a lot on there. All right. So
Well,
let's
you
do
need to
that.
go to Hijinks, take some pictures with some of the babes at Hijinks, and post them on Instagram and say, "Hey, come taste the chicken wings," and you have a babe next to you. And yeah, you'll be showing chicken wings, but they'll be looking at the babe. And so then you'll get more Instagram hits. And then it starts to get around. Hey, have you seen Joe's account? He's got all these babes from Hijinks on. Because as
if
you
I'm
and I know, Hijinks is loaded with all kinds of babes.
if I'm cleared to drive next Wednesday, October 19th, I think I'm going to go to Hijinks in Boca, get the sriracha honey wings on Friday, October 21st. Maybe I will do the Big O segment from there. And maybe I'll be feeling good enough to appear on camera, which I know your audience has been clamoring for.
Yes. And he's recovering from eye surgery.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
you'll know that's why he hasn't been on camera. Okay. So, that's the man will recover soon and then We'll get his pretty face back on the tube.
I got about 65% vision in my left eye at this time. So some might say that if I were a gladiator, I would return. If I was a professional football player, I would
Right.
have already returned.
Right. Right.
But
I just what I'd like to see is the media start now going after all the other dangerous sports where they risk their lives and suffer injuries.
Well, we got rid of like dog track, right? Wasn't that a thing? Greyhound racing, greyhound.
That's animals, Joe. I'm talking about human beings.
Listen,
I'm talking about we tell a fireman for a lot less money, hey, go into that burning building and carry that 180-pound body down 4 flights of steps.
I know.
And here's your $40,000 a year. Have fun.
But sometimes we care more about animals than human beings. So the idea of looking out for the health and well-being of professional football players in general, I'm going to be okay with that.
Well, I'm guilty. I care about my 5 dogs more than most human beings. So sorry.
People do, I like my dog, but I don't get the idea that some people, equate dogs to humans. Like, equal.
Oh,
I don't
they're
know.
my 5 kids. They're not right there with my daughter, but they're like my kids, dude. Yeah, no.
Wow.
We worry about them like they're our kids. Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude. Yes. I love my dogs. Oh man, I
like dogs, but I just don't.
I love dogs. I love dogs. Love hanging out with my dogs. Love having dogs around. I just think dogs make your lives a lot better. They bring a lot to a family. I think they bring families together. Obviously, great for protection purposes. I've got 2 big ones that will eat people alive if they get close to the house. And then I got 3.
Tua's got big dogs.
We got little ones also that are the best alarms that there are in the world are little dogs. Boy, they sense anybody. By the time you get to the sidewalk, my little dogs are already barking. They are the
Dolphins.
Best.
Speaking of dogs, the Dolphins need some dogs on defense to step up, whether it's Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips. I love Jalen. All right, Emmanuel Ogba. Where's the dog? Where's the dog in Ogba?
You got your money, bro. Let's go. You were
chasing
your money. You got your money. Now chase some sacks. That's what he's got to do. And listen, that is fair criticism on the D line. I know that this defense will not be what you want it to be until you get the corners back. Then that'll bring more balance, and I'm sure the sacks will start coming even faster. But you're right. Overall, they've got to do a better job. Now, teams, if you go look at it, they are getting rid of the ball pretty fast because they know that they can't sit there with the football. So, it's something that I would like Tua to learn.
Byron Jones is not going to practice this week. He's not going to play this week. That's 6 games. All right. He's going to miss probably 3 more after that. That's 9. So, you're hoping the guy comes back for like the last 6 games. And you're hoping. I mean, with the Achilles area injury, I don't know the details of the injury, lower leg Achilles area, disappointing, man.
It is. It's very disappointing. Who comes back this week out of the injured people? Who do you think? What's your gut tell you?
Well, Teddy Bridgewater, I think he'll play unless there's something, I don't know about. Austin Jackson, I think he's got a chance to play at right tackle. Then you can move Greg Little left tackle because Little was not good at right tackle. He's more comfortable at left tackle. Brandon Shaw was not good at left tackle. Hard to blame the guy. He was elevated Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle should be okay, even though you have to wonder if they were a little affected by their injuries. They're all injured. Dolphins got a lot of injuries. Everybody's got injuries, but Dolphins got some bad ones, like really bad ones. And, Xavier's got to be, 50-50. We knew that with 2 badly injured groins that it was going to be hard for him to play. So, typically he misses 1, maybe 2. So,
Well, it's kind of like, the people that complain about, he's injury prone. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, let's say he misses 2 games and he comes back for Pittsburgh and he missed a couple games last year and he missed a couple games the year before. So let's say he averages 2 games a year.
That's
So
okay.
would you take if he's playing the way he played the first month here, first 3 weeks? Would you take the guy that is going to miss 2 games a year, but play the way he played the first 3 weeks, or the field that you've had for the last 20 years?
No,
So
that'd
for
be
the
fine. Yeah,
because
it's like with
no,
Teron Armstead.
right, because
It's like
some guy goes to me, oh, they got to go find a quarterback next year, and I go, oh, okay, so you want to go find a quarterback? So how's that gone on for 20 years? So go look at everybody you have found for 20 years and compare them to Tua. Are you sure you want to just dump on Tua and go out and find? That's what I love, how people don't live in reality. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. It was John Beck and Pat White and Jay Cutler. And, no, yeah, Tua's way better than anything you've had for 20 years. And if he's injury prone, that he's going to miss 2 games a year. So do you take Tua for 15, or do you take John Beck and Pat White and Pennington and any of the crap that you've had for 20 years? You know what I'm saying?
and it's just so disappointing that we didn't get a chance to watch Teddy play more than one play.
I agree.
He's a highly competent NFL backup. Obviously, there are some coaches, current and former, who think that the offense would be at least as successful with Teddy playing. I don't know that to be the case. I don't think she'll be quite as good, but they would have had a better chance to win last week for sure.
Well, I at least I like that you have the common sense, unlike those other people who think that you're not going to miss a beat with Teddy, which is just
Well, the Skylar Thompson
silly shit.
Skylar Thompson drum beat slowed pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, that was also stupid. But I try to warn people about that stupidity, but the backup quarterback always becomes like, Mr. freaking popular. Just like you, Joe Schad. He'll be back on Friday with more hijinks and our Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report. Make sure you visit the folks in Boca at hijinksportsgrill.com. And I got to tell you, it is probably the best looking sports bar in South Florida. The ladies there
and the food is good.
The food. Well, I haven't tried the food, but Joe tells you all the time. I'm dying to go up there. Maybe one day we'll do a show up there at Hijinks and try the food. But Joe swears by it, man. And he loves his wings out there. So go check out hijinksportsgrill.com if you're in the Boca area. Joe, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
See you, bud.
You got it. Follow him on Twitter at Schad Joe and catch his work there at the Palm Beach Post. Make sure you subscribe. Enough of the hijinks.
This is the